Zeke, you're obviously from here. You watched this team growing up. I think I asked you this earlier, but I just want to get you here one-on-one. A lot of guys come here, newcomers, and struggle, and you've seemed to just blend right in. What is it about your game and your personality and all those things that allow you to come in and have the impact you've had early on?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just honestly have a good feel for the game. I trust myself. The coaches trust me. My teammates trust me to go out there and make plays and just play my game. They recruited me here for a reason. So, like I've said in the past, my only job is to go out there and take advantage.
And I know it's early in the season, but you guys, again, were #1 team in college basketball. When you guys are on and everything's clicking, and I know you just got Shaquille back, what makes you guys so difficult in terms of, being an out?
I think we just have, so many talented players on this team. It's just you can't really focus on one guy on a scouting report. Obviously Hunter's an All-American. He's going to get his points regardless. So whenever someone's going to have an off night, we expect somebody else to step up and shoot the ball well or, play good on both ends of the floor. And it's not just offensively, it's defensively as well. We obviously understand we have some things that we have to clean up on the defensive end, but, it's going to take time for us to get our chemistry there. Every team is going to struggle early on, so we expect it to get there eventually.
Some people may be a little surprised at your assists and rebounds number, just adding a lot of elements to your game. Can you talk about that and where that came from and how you became so good at doing that facet of your game?
Yeah, as far as rebounding, I was actually taught at a pretty early age by Chris Davis, who's one of my old coaches, coached at Lawrence High as well. So he kind of taught me how to read the ball on long shots, where it's going to come off of the rim. So he kind of taught me how to be a ball hawk a little bit on the rebounding side of things. But as far as assists, when you play with guys like Hunter and Rylan and guys who can score the ball, your numbers are only gonna show on a stat sheet. So just the talent surrounded by me, and I expect those guys to knock down shots, and they've been doing that recently. So
you hit on it there, but defensively for you guys, when you've got new players like yourself, Rylan, AJ, what's that process like of getting comfortable with the scheme that Coach Self wants for you guys around Hunter to make sure that everyone's kind of putting themselves in a good position?
Yeah, it's kind of, it varies on how certain guys, take information. Obviously, some guys are better at hearing things, some guys are better at seeing things. I think for us, it's just about being on the floor at the same time and being able to play with each other. And Coach Self has done a great job of, mixing in rotations for us to get that chance. So, like I said, it's going to take some time, but obviously, early on, I think we've looked pretty solid with the rotations that we've had out there. So I expect nothing less than, just to go out there and hoop, and the result at the end of the day is going to show.
And just for you personally, then, how has the acclimation process gone, and where do you feel like you've kind of fit in so far there?
I think my job is, obviously Coach Self has preached to me he wants me to score the basketball. But I also understand I'm a playmaker as well. I feel comfortable out there with, guys like Juan and AJ and Hunt and then KJ, of course. So I trust my teammates to go out there and make plays for themselves. I trust myself to go out there and make plays for others. So I'm just going to go out there and do my part, whether it's scoring. I've shown on a stat sheet. I had 10 rebounds and 7 assists the other night against Michigan State. So I feel like I can do it all, honestly.
What do you need to do better? It's early still, but
yeah.
There's got to be something that you're kind of thinking, I need to fine-tune this before we really get into it.
Yeah, I'm in a shooting slump right now. But that's okay. I'm not going to stop shooting. No shooter's going to put his head down and stop shooting. But I think right now I need to focus on shooting the ball and taking good shots. I think that's the main thing for me. None of my shots have really been questionable except maybe a few. So, right now it's just probably shooting for me. But, other than that, I feel like I've been doing, pretty solid on both ends of the floor.
And then when you were thinking about coming here, did you look at the schedule? You know what KU plays every year, but did you think about, you mentioned Carolina's why you came to Kansas to play in games like that, but then it was Michigan State, and now a couple low profile, and Duke's coming up, and after that Creighton's coming up, Mizzou, NC State, then the Big 12. Did you give much thought to the schedule and just what that's going to mean for you and be a part of that?
Obviously didn't really think about much of the non-conference. Knew that, obviously there was a Big 12, Big East battle, and then the Missouri game. But, I've really focused on, the Big 12 schedule and the powerhouses that are in the conference, like Houston, Baylor, a bunch of teams. I think we have, 4 in the top 10 or whatever. But No, I didn't really look much at the schedule. I don't look too far ahead. I try to focus, one game at a time, and whoever's the opponent, that's who we're going to go out there and match up with.
What's it felt like, to be in those types of games, knowing more are coming?
Yeah, it's been nothing but fun. I like I said, I expected to come here and play in games like that. Obviously, just to have this opportunity to be out there and compete against, some of the best in the country, it's an honor, it's a blessing. So I'm really looking forward to more of those games.
Coach Self obviously really wanted you here, the staff did. So you saw that side of him during your recruitment. Has he got, during practice or a game, has he gotten mad? Have you seen that side of him? And what's that like going from here to there?
Yeah, most definitely. He's probably mad at least once or twice every practice. But, it's coaching. So, and he's a Hall of Fame coach. So it's not more about, the way he's talking to you. It's about the message that he's sending. I think our guys understand that. We accept, the challenge that he brings to us every day. We go out there and compete for him.
And what's the key, sorry, to not taking it personal, to not letting it affect your game or where you're at or whatever?
Yeah, just understanding that he wants the best for us. We all know that. We take, the tone of voice with a little pin, salt of grain or whatever. He's gonna get on us all the time. But at the end of the day, it's all love. He wants the best for us, and he wants to see us make it to the next level.
Shaquille made his debut. How's he feeling, and do you expect him to kind of keep moving forward?
Yeah, I thought Shaq did fine. We talked about playing 5 minutes. He played 4:45, and so didn't want to put him back in there after he got tight. So I thought he did fine. I thought he looked pretty good, and he practiced yesterday, even though it was a short practice, and hopefully he'll be full speed today and play him some more tomorrow.
And Zeke mentioned that it's going to take time maybe for this group to come together because there's so many new pieces. Does it generally take a little bit of time for a team to come together when you got so many new guys?
I would say so. I think sometimes it's easier for freshmen to come together than it is for transfers. But I would say so. I think the guys are – hell, I think they're doing fine. They're never doing as good as I want them to do, but I certainly don't agree with the thinking that they've disappointed by any stretch because, that's certainly not the case.
You said the other day you feel like you're playing too many guys and want to find 9 that you can settle on. Just what are the main things you'll be looking for as you try to determine who will be part of that 9?
Well, the thing about it is when you play real games, and we're playing a team tomorrow that scored 143 points in a game. But when you play league games, you don't go into a league game thinking I need to get 11 guys in the game. You go into it thinking who are we going to play that gives us the best chance to win. And we're still trying to figure out some different scenarios and what gives us the best chance to win in those type of games based on playing different lineups now and things. So what I meant by that is we're playing. The other night against Oakland, we played a roster that wouldn't be the same way we'd play it if we were playing Carolina or playing a league game, so to speak. So we got to figure out who that core group is. And get those guys used to playing with each other as opposed to just trying to fit guys in. Some people may not like hearing that, but that's the reality of the world. Is it's not equal opportunity for everybody. We got to figure out what's best for us, and then try to put guys in a situation that okay, when KJ's in, who's the best 3 to play with him on the perimeter, and when Zeke's in, who's the best 3 to play with him on the perimeter, and when Flo's in, who's the best 4 guards to play with him as opposed to Hunter. And we're still trying to figure it out, but I do think it'll become clearer as we don't try to figure out, okay, how do we get 11 guys in the game as opposed to 9.
A young Bill Self back at ORU. What did 100 wins look like to you? I'm sure that was kind of daunting. And then the thought that someday 800 wins would come your way. What were you like at that age? And I know you struggled the first season, but then
we started out 6-6 my first year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we did pretty well, and then we lost every game to end the season, and then we lost the first 3 to start the next season. So Yeah, I don't know if that's ever been done. I don't know if there's ever been done. Somebody's won 800 games and lost 18 in a row during that stretch. So I don't know if that's ever been done, but I've accomplished that. So, you know, when I used to do clinics all the time, I'd ask everybody, has anybody ever lost 18 games in a row? And there'd always be 3 people raise their hand. I said, has anybody lost more than 18? And there'd always be 1 person that raised their hand, or 2. And I said, good. I just want to know who's a worse coach than me in the building before we get started. But yeah, that was a different element back then, different animal, and one that I learned so much being a part of. And you know, your mistakes weren't magnified near as much as they are, obviously, coaching at Kansas. But that was great for me. That was one good thing about being at Oral Roberts was I screwed up a lot of things, but the media really didn't ever talk about them, nor did your fan base much. Out of the 75 season ticket holders we had, not too many people were obsessed with that. But there was a lot of good things that came from it, though.
Did you seek out, I'm guessing your dad, but who did you seek out help from during that stretch? Coach Sutton?
Yeah, I would say Coach Sutton. And, of course, my father, obviously, I talked to him about it. I made the joke, you know, at ORU they had on the baseline, they had the saying, expect a miracle. And I joked all the time that Coach Sutton told me, you need to wipe off expect a miracle, and you need to put down it's going to take a miracle instead. But that was but it turned out great. You know, that's that same group at ORU that lost 18 in a row, won 31 the last 38, and we beat Arkansas, Tulsa, and OSU. 2 of them coming off Final Fours. So it turned out to be a pretty good run.
Other thoughts on UNCW outside of their offense?
Well, they draw fouls. I mean, they draw fouls. They shot 59 free throws in one game, if I'm not mistaken. Made 47. I think that was against Georgia Southern, but I mean, they can draw fouls and they can shoot the 3 without question. But you know, you would think if they're shooting, if they're scoring 108 points a game on average, they're probably shooting more than 24 or so threes a game, but I think that's about what they're shooting right now. So you know, they can score the ball, and they're athletic too.
Looking at Rakis, maybe more in games like Michigan State when he's gotten spot minutes, what are you looking for when you're tabbing him to go in the game?
I would say with a guy like Rakis, I mean, anything is a bonus, but I'd say that there's certain things you know as a reserve you can control. You can control energy. You can control defense. You can control rebounding. You can control taking care of the ball. So that would be probably the primary thing. And then if he scores the ball, then obviously that's a bonus. And he made a 3 the other night, which was great. But I would say him leaving out of here the other night, he remembered some defensive things more than he remembered the actual made shot because he knows that's how he can get on the court and stay.
Bill, your schedule's always been hard, non-conference, and sometimes with hindsight, you've looked back and said maybe it was a little too hard, or I wish it hadn't been, or whatever. Yeah. Does that apply the same to transfers as it does to freshmen when you're trying to kind of give them that experience?
I think they're very comparable. I actually, in my limited experiences, in all my years coaching, I think transfers that don't have to sit. Because, you know, before they had to sit, or if they're a JUCO kid coming in, to me, it's always taken till Christmas for them to react and not think. Whereas freshmen, sometimes I think it's easier for them because they don't know what they don't know. But, you know, I like our transfers. I think they're trying hard. None of them are fighting us at all. They're willing passers. They want to play the way we want to play. They buy into it. I just don't think we're at the point where it's a reactionary thing right now. I still think it's a thought process where guys are going through their checks and balances.
Is it while you're recruiting them, or is it when you get them on campus that you can tell when a transfer, hey, he's going to be fine against Duke, Michigan State, Carolina, Creighton? You know, do you see that
I
at
don't
some
think
point?
we've ever recruited anybody to say they're going to be fine in the first 3 weeks of the season. I think you recruit people saying, are they going to be fine to help you win when it counts the most? That's why, you know, the team that you see now hopefully is not recognizable come March. But by no means do we recruit thinking, well, we got a tough schedule early. Maybe these guys can come in and help us early. We recruit thinking, you know what, it'd be nice to play well early, and yeah, we need them to, but what we really need is for them to be comfortable by the time conference rolls around.
Bill, you talked about Shaq playing 445 the other night. Like, when he's full go, is there a target number that you have for him that you'd want to rely on him for? Or is that
I would say conditioning probably won't let him play very much right now. Guys, he hadn't really done anything. And even when he came back those few days, he hadn't done anything since then. Sunday was the first, not Sunday, when did we play? Saturday? Friday was the first day he had practiced since he took those 2 weeks off or whatever. So, yeah, he's time away from being able to go, but I think he can certainly give us some spot minutes right now.
Zeke told us he's in a little bit of a slump from outside. How did he do in practice, and have you noticed the slump?
I don't think he's in a slump at all. If I'm not mistaken, he's got 17 rebounds the last 2 games. I mean, so he's a player. That's what I told him the other day. If you have to make shots to play well, then that means you're a shooter. If you can play well without making shots, that means you're a player. And I think he's a player. I do. Now, granted, do we need him to make shots? Absolutely. And we're a much better team and a different team when he does. But I'm not a big proponent. Now, if a guy is a designated three-point shooter and, you know, never shoots a free throw, and if he gets 5 looks, he's got to make 2 in order to stay in the game, that's one thing. Zeke's not one of those guys. Zeke can help you win a ball game just by his presence, you know, on both ends.
Dave referred to this, but does 800 mean anything more special than any other round number to you?
No. You know, I had a buddy of mine. You guys know Rhodey from Oklahoma City. I said, "What's the big deal? Good gosh, you've already won 800. You've already done." I said, "Well, they took a few away." But no, it really does. And I'm being dead serious. I don't even know. Nobody's told me when that even happens. So of course, nobody told me they were putting a banner up there the other night either. So I didn't see that till Gary made a huge deal of it at the press conference afterwards. But it's nice. But $7.99 right now. So one more. Yeah, that'll be something that, you know, whenever it happens, I'll think about it for, you know, at least 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll go on to the next deal.
The balls from the milestone wins?
No, I haven't. They gave me a ball after the game against Michigan State, but no, I haven't. I even had a guy come down and ask me, "Do you want the game ball?" And I said, "No, why would I want a game ball?" You know, but I got enough balls in my office, so I don't need that one.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.